In this short video, we're going to look at using FIU's Eye on the Rise app to explore future flooding due to sea level rise in South Florida locations. You can enter the address of a location to see possible flooding risks as the sea level gets higher over time. First, let's go to the Eyes on the Rise website where the app can be found. You'll see a map of Southeast Florida displayed with a rectangle in the upper left that has 3 tabs on top of it: Find Your Location, Sea Level Rise, and Floods and Tides. Let's begin with the first tab, Find Your Location. This is shown by default. I'll type in an address in the search engine in the rectangle. In this case, I'll use a location, Trump Hollywood. On South Ocean Drive. You'll see that a new map pops up on the screen, zoomed into the address that I entered. The map is a schematic drawing of the location that has a marker on the address I entered. You'll also see that the rectangle now contains elevation information about the address. You might like to copy that information. Next, I'll click on the number 2 tab, Sea Level Rise. Underneath the slide to change feet of sea level rise, you'll see a slider bar which you can use to show different levels of sea level rise. This goes from 0 to 6 feet. The Southeast Florida Regional Climate Compact has recently published some predictions about mean sea level rise in the future based on the current evidence and the models they use. In order to get a better sense of when flooding might occur at a location, you might try moving the slider in the following scenarios. First, I'll start with a scenario for year 2030 where there's a prediction of about 1/2 foot to 3/4 of a foot of sea level rise. So I'll move it within that range. And you see that in the Hollywood Beach area shown here, there is no apparent flooding at that sea level rise. During the next scenario, which is the year 2060, the predictions are between 1 and 2 feet of sea level rise. So I'll move the slider bar to show that. And as you can see, starting about 1.5 feet, you've got some flooding on A1A near the Intercoastal Waterway, and even some around the casino area, the condominium area. And by the time you get to 2 feet, it's more pronounced. Finally, I'll take a look at the year 2100 when we have about 2.5 to 5 feet of sea level rise predicted using this model. Starting about 2.5 feet, you can see flooding throughout this little area here in East Hollywood on the beach. And by the time you get to 3.5 feet, it's pretty pronounced. Again, by the time you get to the top of the range here that they've got predicted, certainly that area has a lot of water in it. One of the interesting features of this mapping model is the ability to zoom out and see what other patterns might be obvious. So I'm going to zoom out here just to show you some of eastern Broward County and Hollywood Beach, of course. And we'll take a minute for that to refresh the screen. And then you can see some interesting patterns emerging at the 5-foot level. Again, this is at the top range of the year 2100. But you can see that there's some extensive flooding along the eastern areas of Hollywood Beach. There's an interesting strip here of higher dunes along the beach itself. and then even the western part of the county in Broward, and I'll zoom even farther back so you can take a look at that. And the screen will refresh, and you'll see that even western parts of Broward and northwestern part of Miami-Dade, there's some significant flooding patterns here. So I hope you will use this tool to enter some information about where you live, to look at some scenarios over the next few years regarding sea level change. Thank you.